Holiday gift giving. That's what's next on Bein' Cozy Stitching. Join us for making these holiday pins. Hi, thanks for coming back. I'm so happy you're here today. Melissa here from Being Cozy Stitching, and I have a really cute little project. With holidays coming up, it's always nice to be able to give your friends a small token of how much they mean to you. And I just love giving a little something of me to all the people who bring so much back to me. So today I've got this great little project and I can't wait to show it to you. So follow me to the workroom. We'll get right at it. I don't know how many of you have the AccuQuilt Go Cutter, but I highly recommend these and I use mine all the time. I think they're just fabulous. I have the Go Baby, which is the very small one, and I only bought a small one because I thought, I'm never going to know if I'm really going to use this or if it's something I'm going to have to try and sell on Facebook Market page and all that good stuff. So I'm getting ahead of myself here. So I went with the small one. Now I wish I would have gotten a bigger one because I use it all the time. So the very first thing I want to tell you is when you get your dies, I like to take a Sharpie marker and I like to outline the cut area so that I know how big of a piece of fabric to go ahead and place on there to make sure that it cuts the entire area, because I don't use big hunks of fabric. Remember, I'm the scrap queen, the trash can queen. Anyway, my bits and pieces are little and small, so I just want to make sure that they make it and that I don't get like a half a circle, what have you. So I just want to make sure it makes it easier for you. Grab your Sharpie, just stick it in that little groove where the blades are and run it around, and that way you're ahead of the game. So now for our project, you're going to need some felt. And it's going to depend on how many you want to make, but if you just want to make one, you need a 2.5 inch square for your backing piece. That's what we're working on right now. So once you get your 2.5 inch square of felt, you can use wool, you can use whatever you want really, but it's got to be a sturdier fabric. Denim weight is what I would do. Anyway, you're going to line your fabric up onto the die on the area that you marked. Then you're going to put your cutting pad on top of your die, and then it's just a matter of placing it on the tray. I like to give it a little push to get it started, and then you just crank the handle until it comes through. Now, because I'm only using part of the die, I only cut until I know that the area has been cut, and then I put it into reverse and I go back over it. I don't want to cut up my mat because, as you can see, and it's a testament to how often I use it, you can see all the cut marks and everything in my cutting pad, and I don't want to keep replacing cutting pads, so I only cut where I need to, where the area is, and then I stop, put it in reverse, and come back out. But as you can see, I now have 2 perfect little circles. Now I'm going to cut a whole bunch of them because I'm doing this for a group project with some of my friends, and so I'm going to need quite a bit of them. You're only going to do 1. Now, if you don't have a Go Cutter or a Sizzix cutter or anything like that that helps you make circles, you can use a cup, a glass, you can use a plastic lid. If you've got one of those things we had in school, I'm so good with this, I can't even remember what they were called, a protractor or a compass or something like that. Whatever you want to use to make your circle is totally fine. I just use the Go Cutter because I do a lot of them, and it makes it so much easier for me to just blast through a whole bunch of them and get them done. So go ahead and cut. I mean, you can see just how easy it was for me to blow through with my Go Cutter, and I have all these already. and I didn't have to cut them, and they're perfect little circles. Okay, so go ahead and cut all of the circles that you need to do your project, and when you get that done, we'll meet back here for step 2. Okay, so part 2. Now you need to collect some red wool, felt, fabric that frays would be cute, whatever you would like. And now I'm going to switch over to my Sizzix cutter because I want to use the Tim Holtz Alterations die with the 3 different flower petals because I think that's going to look really neat. And I am definitely going to need a bigger square cut of fabric, so when I measure my die I need about a 5-inch square. So we're going to go ahead and remove the go cutter, and then we're going to cut our red into 5-inch squares. And again, it depends on how many you're going to be doing, how many you need. I am going to need many. As you can see, I have many bases. So then with the Sizzix, it's a little different. One on top, one on bottom. And put this into view. Process is still exactly the same as it is with the Go Cutter. You're going to sandwich your die and your fabric. You're going to place it on the tray. You're going to crank your handle. And you're going to run it through till it comes out the other side. Then you go ahead and lift. And that's when the magic happens. Whoop. So we end up with 3 lovely little flower pieces. So what I will tell you is it's Sizzix die number 656640, Tim Holtz Alterations, if you want to make these. Otherwise, just go ahead and freehand cut some little petals. I'm trying to make them look like poinsettias. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, go ahead and cut out your flowers, and then we'll meet back here for step 3. And I'll pan out here a little bit so you can see all of the cutting that I did. You're not going to need that many, so don't be nervous about having to have this many pieces and parts to make our holiday pins. You just basically need to have a variety of leaves or colors or petals, whatever you want to call them, your shapes. And you need a base that you can attach them to. You're going to need a pin back. Now, pin backs come in packages like this. There's tons of them in there. That's what makes this so great for a project to give away to people, because once you get in there and you start cutting stuff, then you get crazy like I did, and you've got way more than you need, but hey, variety is the spice of life, right? Okay. So then I went through all of my embellishments and I picked out a few items that I thought would be kind of fun. Now this would make a really good backing or an element that we could put our petals onto and create our next little pin. So I thought I would bring that out and give that a try. It's just a little crocheted doily. You can pick them up at the dime store really cheap. I did cut out some cardinals. I thought maybe I'd try that for a base. I've got an assortment of beads that I think would be kind of pretty for the centers, because you know I like to have a little bit of bling in there. I also picked up little jingle bells. I don't know if they're going to work. But I thought, you know, for the holiday, you might want to put one in the center. That might be kind of cute. So that's an idea. I also found these little pom-pom thingies. They must have been a craft I did with the kids at some point. I thought that might be kind of cute for a center. You just hot glue that one in. Don't even have to sew that one. So that would make it speedy. So then you could get a lot of them done in no time. But you could also use buttons, bows, have a little tiny pine cone. I also got these little closeout decorations from last year. I don't know that I'll use them, but I thought I'd take them out and see. Maybe they'll add a little something to it. Maybe they'll just make it look gaudy as all get out. I bought these little glittered letters last year. I thought that might be kind of fun as a base to put something onto. I don't know. We'll just give it a try because that's our next step. We need to take these pieces and parts and we need to put a combination together. And it really doesn't matter which ones you pick or choose so that we have some kind of a combination. See what I mean? They go together pretty neat. I made a couple different examples here to show you if you want to use bigger petals. Again, a little bit of green for a little bit of greenery. If you don't want great big things on your base, you could do little. Here's another example of little. And this one I think is my favorite, but then it's because it's got gobs of stuff and lots of layers, and I think it'd be really pretty. And then put some beads in the center of that pink one, or some buttons, or some crystals, whatever you have on hand would be great. But what you need to do next is you need to decide, am I going to put this on another base like this? See how that jazzes it up? That looks really cute. I think I might just leave that one together. Are you going to put it on your cardinal? Let's use this one. I think that one might be kind of pretty. Like this. Yeah, that's kind of cool too. We'll leave that one there. Are you going to, I'll use the A. My last name is A, so I'll take the A. I'll put a base on there. I'll put a little flower unit on top of there. You know, are you going to do something like this? Can you see that okay? Oh, I like that. That's kind of cool too. Okay, so you need to know what, you know, are you going to put something underneath it or not? Because now we need to attach our pin back. And the pin back can be attached a couple different ways. It's going to depend on, are you just going to attach it to your base? And in that case, you can use a trusty needle and thread here. We can go old school, needle and thread, and tack it down. Or we can use a hot glue gun and go ahead and tack it down that way. Now, if you have your base going on something like this, you're not going to be able to sew that with needle and thread. So you're going to have to attach your pin back to the back with some glue to get that rolling. Okay, so that's what you need to do with that. So the very next step is to decide which way you're going to go about doing this. I think for me, I'm going to attach it to this little A because I think that was pretty sweet and I enjoyed that. I like this one because it's kind of lobbed off, and that way it stops where the letter comes across, and I don't know, just doesn't get in the way as much. Okay, so because I'm going to use the A, I need to attach this with some hot glue, and I'm sure all of you know how to use a glue gun by now, so I won't really go into detail on how to get that done, but you want to keep that pin back up towards the top and make sure that you put it on the right side of your project because you don't want your A backwards when you put it on. And by golly, I think I've got it. Okay, so then once you get that taken care of, you can remove the hot glue from your fingers. And it's a matter of deciding which petals you want to put together. I did some of my petals in fabric because I thought a little bit of frayed look would be kind of fun. So we have some fabric. So let's play. Let's take a piece of fabric And then I think we should put, oh, let's go deep dark burgundy, and we'll put one of the petals on top of there like that. Then I think that we probably should go with one of these kind of off-colored beauties. And then I think we'll probably end up with one of these itty bitty little guys. So it'll kind of look like that. Okay? Once you get this all together, what you're going to need to do is decide what you're going to put in the center. Now, I'm going to grab a couple beads to put into my center. So I'm just going to shake a few out, see what we've got. And I think I'll use the pretty gold ones because I think those will be neat. So your first bead, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your needle right up through the back, through the base, through the whole bit, right where you think you want. See how that goes all the way through? Can you see that okay? Good. And then you're going to place your bead right on top. And then you're just going to attach your bead like you would a button and go through it a couple times. That's going to attach all of your layered petals together. And provided you don't make a knot in your thread. Oh yeah, see how cute that looks? Love it. And you're just going to want to run that through a couple times so that you can make sure that you're good and secure. Sorry, I'm very new to trying to sew so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just going to run it through there a couple times and down so that it stands up straight. I'm going to knot the back. Now we're not going to worry about the back because that's going to be glued to the back of this letter. Oh, now see, it's pretty. It's very pretty, but it's too, oops, sorry. It's very pretty, but it's too big. You can't even see the A. So this is not a good choice. Let's try maybe a doily. Because now that I sewed it to the bay, oh yeah, that'll be fine. There, I think that's kind of cute. Oops. See, I'm sorry. I'll get better at this, I promise. I'm not very good at figuring out where to put this so that you can see it. Okay, so I think that's the way we're going to go. We're going to put this one on a doily. I think that it will show up rather nicely, even if we offset it just a little bit. I think that one's kind of pretty. Okay, so that's what we're going to do with this one. So what we need to do now is finish adding whatever embellishments that we would like to have to the center of that. And you guys know me, more is always more. I like to have a few more in there. So same process. You're just putting it on just like you would a button. You're going to go through the hole and come down and come through the hole. Whoops, don't miss the button. Come back up, go back down. Now, if you're going to attach and then knot it to the back, let me finish my thought here on this one. And then you're going to simply put a little knot in there and keep adding the beads until you think you have that where you would like it to be finished. All right. And if you're going to do the jingle bell has a little loop that you can stitch through. There's a little area right here where you can put your needle through and attach the jingle bell. So again, this one's going to be just like a button when you sew it onto your project. But if you're going to go with little greeneries, how does that look? I think on this one, on our sample one, I would take this red out and I would put that in the center like that. See, that's kind of cute. It adds a little something, gives it a little more oomph. But before you attach this, because this has to be attached with either glue or hot glue, craft glue or hot glue gun, you need to sew these layers together. Just run your needle through the center, just like we did when we were going to put a bead on here. Only don't put the bead. Just come up, down, up, down. Just do it a couple times in the center, because you don't want the petals to be sewn down. You want them to be free flowing. They're much nicer that way. So you're just doing a tack stitch in the center, by hand, by machine, whatever you choose. Remember, you're in charge of the project. You can finish this any way that you like. It's all right. It's just a matter of which way you want to do it. Our group's going to do it by hand, because we're going to meet it at a place where we don't have our sewing machines. So we're going to go ahead and tack these centers, then add a little hot glue to the back of your embellishment, stick it into the center, and then you'll have a finished pin. So that's that one. What else do we have? Oh, yeah. If you're going to use the little pom-poms do have to be glued in. I really wouldn't try sewing through one of these little things. They're too squishy, and so you're just going to put a dab of hot glue and then stick it down. So again, you're going to take your layer and you're going to stitch through your layer, tack it together, then hot glue your center onto it, and then that's a finished pin. So as you can see, there's lots and lots and lots of possibilities and things for you to do. You just need to get in there and allow yourself to play. Look through your junk drawers, see what kind of embellishments you have that you think might be kind of pretty. Give it a whirl and make yourself a holiday pin or two that you can give out to people you care about. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you like this video. I hope that I've inspired you to maybe make a pin or two and enjoy the holiday season. Happy holidays, everyone. Bye for now.